Hi everyone, lovely of you to join me again, and here we are with talk number 3. We've talked about the importance of exercising, particularly while we're all stuck at home for a lot more than we usually are. Also, we've talked about having to cope with that isolation, with having a routine, counting our blessings, and generally just being a little bit more positive about the whole thing. There is a danger, however, in being at home a lot. Many people are starting to turn their attention to food. They wake up in the morning and think, what's for breakfast? What's for dinner? What are we going to have tomorrow? All very important, of course, but there are other things more important in your day. Now, you might recognise this lady, Dieting Dora. Do you remember she joined our class some years ago, did incredibly well. She needed to lose weight for her daughter's wedding. She lost 1.5 stone. Well done, Dora, that's fabulous. However, the ensuing period, she'd lost her motivation. She began to pile on weight again and wondered what on earth was going wrong. Generally, she did quite well, but thought maybe it was down to eating in between meals, eating all those snacks and treats that she didn't really need, but just fancied. Here we are now with coronavirus and we're all stuck at home. That could be an even bigger problem for us all. And of course, we're coming up to Easter as well. So here we are, Dieting Dora does Easter. Easter morning, she woke up, the sun was shining, and in through the door comes her husband, Joe, with a tray with the most amazing breakfast on it. Lovely croissants, all crumbly and buttery, with butter and jam and a nice cup of tea. Oh, said Dora, that looks really special. Well, I know you normally have your porridge, says Joe, but it is Easter Sunday, so here we are, a special breakfast. She ate it all up. Now you can imagine, what was in those croissants and butter and jam were quite a few more calories than there would have been in her porridge. So let's have a look at that. 2 croissants, 550 calories. Can you believe that? Then we've got jam and butter, another 200 calories. You can see how the calories are beginning to mount up. Her normal porridge and maybe a few little bits of fruit or whatever, some berries, that generally averaged about 200, 230 calories. Big difference already. When she got up and got dressed, she made sure that she put out the mini eggs on a dish. She did this every Easter Sunday. Put them all out so that they could help themselves as they went round. Not too many, mind, but they were 20 calories for each egg. Then she had coffee a bit later on with Joe. They sat out in the garden. It was so lovely. And Joe remembered they had hot cross buns in the cupboard. So he brought one out with some lovely jam. Oh, it was delicious. Then he produced a gorgeous Lindor egg. Now, Lindor eggs are Dieting Dora's favourite. Well, we'll split it, says Joe. That way we're not eating too much chocolate. We'll just have a little bit of chocolate with our coffee. Oh, it was so delicious. For lunch, they decided they were just going to have a soup. After all, they were going to have their roast dinner later on. So they had a beautiful bowl of homemade soup, and then with that they had roll and butter. She cooked the whole pack of ready-to-cook rolls, the ones that she bought in advance, just in case she needed them during the corona isolation. So she thought, well, I'll have an extra one with butter. Maybe a few more extra calories here. They then went for a walk. How healthy are they? Off they went. They walked for miles, had a lovely time. The weather was great. They were avoiding everybody else, zigzagging across the road. And when they got home, they felt much better. They'd really done something worthwhile, and they were actually quite hungry. So on the way in, she grabbed a couple of the little eggs out of the dish. Joe had a couple as well. And then she went back and had another 2. I mean, they were so tiny. Do they really count? Now it was time to video call with the family. So they got on their Zoom. I think it was Zoom, but it could have been Skype. Who knows? And they had a great time with the family. Break open some bubbly, she said. Come on, this is our Easter celebration. The children were the other end, eating their Easter eggs. And so Dieting Dora and Joe sat and ate their Easter egg as well, at least some of it. They all sipped their champagne and had a lovely, lovely time. They were sad when the call was over. Off the children went. Bye now, bye, they said. And they sat down thinking, oh, now we've got that lovely dinner to look forward to. While Joe got on with the dinner in the kitchen, because he's that sort of guy, she called her friend. She calls her best friend every day because they really need to talk to each other. Just pour me another one of those flutes of champagne, she shouted to Joe, while I chat to my friend Mary. So on they went to the phone and they chatted and chatted, both sipping their champagne and wishing each other a happy Easter. Then they went out into the garden just for a little while, her and Joe, walking around, admiring all the plants about to burst into bloom. It was lovely at this time of year. I know it's a sad time for a lot of people and very difficult, but we're lucky, said Dora. They came in and the dinner was just about ready. They had a beautiful roast lamb dinner. It was gorgeous. But to begin with, they had smoked salmon and cheese blinis. They were Dora's favourite. Joe knew this. So they had just 3 each, and they're so tiny, it probably didn't count at all. A big roast dinner. The roast potatoes were done in goose fat because, well, they normally use that at Christmas and Easter and any special occasions. They even had Yorkshire puddings, but it was just one meal and they'd been very good over lunch, so they really were doing quite well. For dessert, they had a lemon posset. Lemon things are really quite good at Easter. Most people like just having anything that's the colour yellow. So they ate their beautiful creamy posset and thought this was gorgeous. To wash it all down, a bottle of Chablis. They'd nipped down to Aldi and got one at a great price. So they had a little glass with their dinner, a little glass after their dinner. Oh, this was shaping up to be actually quite a nice Easter Sunday after all. They then did the washing up, and on the way through to the kitchen, Dora realised there were just a couple of roasties left on the dish. Not worth saving, and you can't waste food, can you? So she popped the 2 potatoes into her mouth. Well, that cleared that up and they could do the washing up. They then came back and sat down. What'll we do now? Well, we said we'd watch a movie, didn't we? Oh, right, okay, let's do that. So they sat down, they poured the last glass each of the Chablis, watched their movie, and ate the remainder of the chocolate egg. There were just the little teeny eggs left, so they were just nice. And they were splitting the egg, as you might remember from before. About 11 o'clock, they decided it was time for bed. Let's off to bed now. Okay, so off they went to bed. Do you want hot chocolate? Said Jo. No, I don't want a hot chocolate, she said. I'm full. After all, we've had that big dinner. We've had quite a lot to eat today. Do you know a hot chocolate would probably be almost 200 extra calories? So off they went to bed, having had a lovely day. So, having listened to what they've eaten, can you imagine the calories that they had consumed? Let me just point them out to you. If I lift this up, you can probably see. Calories in total, 3,704 calories each. Normally, Dora would eat 1,500. That's a lot of extra calories. So the message here is, although it's difficult for us to celebrate Easter without maybe going over the top a little bit, we're now in a situation where we might be turning to comfort eating. Just have a check. Is that what you're doing? Are you eating all the time, finding excuses to make a cup of tea and have a biscuit? Are you baking more? What are you baking? Biscuits, bread, cakes? Who's eating them? Oh, you can't go out. You can't share your food. So, well, it must be you that's eating them. Have you turned to having a glass of wine with every meal? Maybe not breakfast, although Bucks Fizz is quite nice in the morning. Are you having extra drinks, an extra drink going to bed? Have you got some chocolate eggs still stashed in the cupboard that you bought for other people and now can't give them? Just beware. If you're eating too many extra calories, the weight will go on. And if that weight goes on, it makes it more difficult to exercise because you can't be bothered and you're tired and you become lethargic. Just be careful. But have a lovely Easter. I wish you a very, very happy Easter, a very peaceful Easter. Enjoy, and hopefully we'll all be together soon. Take care. Bye.